Emergency episode. Right now, agents in masks are arresting people not just on the streets, but also inside of courthouses. Those people who are following the law. People who are in the middle of legal immigration proceedings. Some of the arrested people are US citizens, and the situation is getting only worse. Even you can become their target, even if you're a green card holder or a US citizen. But this video is especially important for those who are in the beginning, middle, or final stage of legalizing their status. There are over 35 million people in the United States of America who are somewhere on their path towards a green card. It's about 10% of population. It means that someone in your circle can be the next victim of ICE and they might not even know about it yet. Very few people are aware of this, but there's one simple legal step that could protect you, at least during the court proceedings. And in this video I'll give you a clear, 100% free, step-by-step guide that could protect you, your friends, or even your family. Watch until the end and please share this video with anyone who needs to see it. My name is Paul and you're watching The Green Card Show, the only YouTube channel that created exclusively to help immigrants. So what happened? The United States government declared a crackdown on undocumented immigrants, and ICE received a record-breaking funding, all paid with our tax dollars. But then things went off script. Well, at least publicly stated script, you know. Instead of going after violent criminals, cartel members, rapists, drug sellers and such, ICE is targeting ordinary people and hard-working families. And what's truly awful is that arrests are often made by some mess dudes who are dressed in civilian clothes and who drive unmarked cars, often with some fake plates or even without license plates, which is illegal at least in the state of California. They're absolutely officially not going after undocumented immigrants anymore. US citizens, court employees, public elected officials, and other people have been arrested already many times. Government representatives who have the right of access to detention centers have been illegally refused to be let into detention centers to oversee what is happening inside. As of the release of this video, around 100,000 people are already arrested by ICE, and about 250,000 people are either deported or awaiting to be removed from the United States. And even the loudest, the most vocal supporters of mass deportations are now being caught in ICE's net. In fall of 2024, a group of Cuban immigrants made a viral hit song, "Raise your hand, come on, and just this year, several months after elections, husband of that lady who is singing this viral hit is arrested and expecting his deportation, and his wife, for some unknown reason, is kind of unhappy. All across the country, many farmers give interviews where saying that they're on the brink of bankruptcy or expecting to be on the brink of bankruptcy because ICE is catching and deporting their farm workers. Multiple US citizens were arrested by ICE simply because of having a criminal skin color. Florida State Senator Ileana Garcia, the founder of Latinos for Trump, is now shouting in interviews, "This is not what we voted for." Take the case of Elson Lomas, a US citizen who was arrested by ICE. Now, I guess he'll become a very rich man because he's already suing ICE. He has a lawyer.
That is a violation of the Constitution and a violation of our laws and rights.
And I'm sure that he will either win or settle for a huge amount of money. And of course, our tax dollars will pay out this settlement. An immigration court judge went as far as issuing a contempt of court against an ICE agent because this kidnapped a person when the court had a recess, and the judge even ordered to return this person because there was no ruling against him.
It's a case of obstruction of justice.
But the ICE agent simply refused to return this person, so the judge had to issue a contempt of court against this agent. So this agent broke the law knowingly and intentionally. Here in LA, they arrested an Armenian teenager because they thought he was Mexican, and that was enough of a reason. Let me emphasize this again. These arrests, or let's call them by what they truly are, abductions or kidnappings, are most often performed by people in civilian clothes without any ID. And you cannot prove if these people are truly federal agents or some impersonators. But when asked, such people are often saying, "We're not obligated to show you anything, to name ourselves and such." But in fact they are. Here on the screen you see a quote from their own ICE policy. Yeah. ICE agents, by these rules, are required to have their badge, and they are required to ID themselves upon request. They don't care about rules and laws. In the end, it makes them not law enforcement officers anymore. It makes them criminals in uniform. These kidnappers have no problem pointing a gun at people, civilian, unarmed US citizens, for no cause at all. And they love driving around our cities with cars that have no place at all, or as you can see from this video, with the plates they change for fake ones, which is absolutely illegal. Undeniably, what we are seeing right now is the playbook of drug cartels in Mexico. There have already been cases when criminals bought some carnival clothes with ICE words or police words on them and went into a store, handcuffed Hispanic cash register guys, and just took out all the money from the store. And these Hispanic people, they couldn't fight back, because if those were real ICE agents and Hispanic people fought against them, they could be put into prison for assaulting a law enforcement officer on duty. And that's why I'm making this video for you, so that you could avoid physically appearing in court, be it an immigration court, a traffic court, or any other court, because there is a legal chance to do that. At this point in the United States, it is safe to say that you can be arrested and deported even if you did nothing wrong. Even if you're in the beginning, middle, or the very end of the legalization process and you're following the law every step of the way, you're not breaking the law, you're not committing crimes, you do everything correctly and right. After being arrested, you can be sent out to the third countries, because the Supreme Court has recently ruled that the government has the authority to deport you to the third countries such as Sudan, even if you're not from Sudan. They don't care. They can do this, and they have now the legal right to do this. So how can you avoid getting face to face with these mass predators who are arresting people right inside of courthouses? I'll explain it to you in just a minute. And if you find this information useful, maybe not to yourself, but to somebody you know, please do send this video to this person. And if you subscribe to my channel and like this video, I'll be very thankful to you. So let's assume that you already have a court date, immigration or any other court, but you also know that there are some dangerous animals in masks that are running around and grabbing people, and you don't really want to become their next victim. What you need to do is to urgently file a motion to appear by video teleconference, or a motion to appear telephonically. This is a very simple document that you write and file to court, asking for permission to not appear there physically in the room. Instead, you can be allowed to appear there via Zoom software or even by your phone. In just a minute, I'll explain you how to write this simple document. Just a note, if your English is not good enough, but you freely speak your native language, you can go to chatgpt.com and write whatever reasoning you have in your own language and just ask ChatGPT to write this motion in pure English, and it will make it in no time. It is best to file this paper at least 15 days before your court hearing, because the court has the right to answer to this motion within 30 days. So if you file it today and your court hearing like in 7 days, maybe the court will have no time to even read it and to respond to you. So try to file it as early as possible. So in simple terms, you're sitting at home, you haven't been picked up by ICE, and you want to stay that way. So you obviously want to ask if the court is obligated to approve this motion, and the answer is no. The courts are obligated to review your motion, but the decision will be made on a case-by-case basis. That's why I remind you once again, this video is not a legal advice. This is just my opinion, my advice as a non-lawyer. So you must consult with your actual lawyer on your actual case, because there might be some strategy in place, and this lawyer will know better when to file or why not to file this paper. Another reason why you must discuss this motion with your lawyer is, of course, because it should be written in the perfect legal language, and also because professional lawyers often know judges even personally, or at least they know patterns of how this or that judge is ruling on similar cases. And for example, if this lawyer knows that this judge is a reasonable human being, then the reason in your motion stated as "I'm afraid of my constitutional rights to be violated by ICE agents or impersonators right in this court of law" could be enough for this judge, because this judge could already be irritated and angry that people are being kidnapped from his court. But if your judge is a Texas-style maniac who denies all the cases no matter what evidence is, your reasoning must be very strong and ideally medically documented. For example, you have some contagious disease that can make all the people in the court ill, starting with the judge themselves. So watch this video, take in all the information, and discuss it with your attorney about how it applies to your case. This step is really crucial. Don't skip it if you can. So what qualifies as a strong enough reason to appear in the US immigration or any other court via Zoom, not personally? Let's break it down. Reason number one is pretty obvious, it's health issues. You had some temporary injury like broke a leg or recent surgery. Also, you could have some chronic conditions like autoimmune or heart conditions. You can have mental health issues such as panic attacks, anxiety, you can be afraid of closed spaces, and ideally you have paperwork to prove it. Reason number two is COVID-19 or any other suspected or confirmed contagious disease. Ideally, you have a photo of your COVID-19 positive test that you can take for free in any library, at least in LA. But even if you don't have such a test, you can thoroughly describe the symptoms that you have, such as cough, high fever, maybe bleeding, or something else that allows a grown man or woman to suspect that you have something really contagious. Personally, I used to have a very good PCP, primary care physician, who would allow me to call, describe my symptoms, and she would prescribe me some medication and email me doctor's notes. If you have a doctor like this, do use this chance. Call the doctor, describe how bad you're feeling, and if this doctor prescribes you something strong that is usually used in case of such diseases, or even writes you doctor's notes and emails them to you, do print them out and attach them to your motion. Reason number three, transportation difficulties. For example, you don't have a driver's license or an American driver's license, or your car broke down, maybe smoke started coming out of your engine area yesterday, or at night some bad people cut all four of your tires and you can make a picture of it showing your car is on flat tires. So just describe the situation thoroughly in your motion, attach any photos and proofs that you can provide, and ask the court to appear via Zoom. Reason number four is inability to leave your home or workplace for some serious reason. If you have a work authorization and you're working hard to pay your rent and pay your food, and on the day of court your employer does not let you leave workplace, and for example you can provide an email or a text message from this employer proving that they are not letting you skip the work and can fire you, this is too much of a loss, and you explain to the judge that you want to appear in the court, but you just cannot do this without losing your income, and attach all this evidence to your motion. Also, if you're a sole caregiver to somebody who needs your attention all the time, for example, disabled child or your mother, grandmother, please do attach the evidence of this to this motion as well and explain to the judge that you are willing to go to the court, but you just cannot leave this person alone because they can die or they can get injury and so on. Reason number five is very simple, it's called financial hardship. It means that you just don't have the money to go to the court. For example, you live in some faraway farm in Texas or Wisconsin, and going to this hearing means for you to drive 200 miles and you need to stay in a hotel, but you just don't have the money for gas and hotel. So it's very easy to prove this stuff. Just print out your checking account status and you can show the judge that you have 20 or 50 bucks or something like this, and it's not enough even to buy gas for your car, but you want to appear in the court and you are ready to appear via Zoom. Reason number six is dangerous travel due to weather or other conditions. For example, right now a huge flood has just happened in Texas with tens of people dead and more people missing. If you're somewhere in this area in Texas, or if you live in Florida and hurricane isn't coming, all the news are telling about it, and you understand that you will be driving to the city where the court is and the hurricane is expected to hit this city, it is obvious that the judge wouldn't want you to die for getting your legal status. Once again, you want to attend the hearing, you will attend the hearing, but please, can you do it via Zoom? Reason number seven is very simple to understand and it might be a good trick for you with your attorney. It's called inability to appear together with your attorney. In the United States, many attorneys are super loaded and sometimes they do this trick. They appear in all the hearings via Zoom or via telephone connection. If your attorney is already allowed to appear like this and you don't feel like you're appearing in a hearing with your attorney if they are present only via Zoom, you can mention this reason saying, I want to appear in this hearing via Zoom as well, just like my attorney. If they are allowed to appear remotely, why aren't you allowed to do the same? So reason number eight is ongoing legal proceedings that allow you to stay in the United States, at least for now. For example, you had some unfavorable decision in your previous case or in this current case some days or weeks ago, but you did appeal. By law, you are still considered a person who did not exhaust all his legal options. But as a reasonable person reading the news, just like the judge does, you understand that if you appear in a court in person, you can be arrested and deported to the country where you can be killed or where you can be somehow exploited, human trafficked or whatever, especially if your case is political asylum and you have all the proofs that you already are subject to be killed by cartel or something like this. So in your motion, you can cite this risk and explain to the judge that you won't appear in this hearing, but remotely, not not to put your life in danger. And the last reason is actually the first reason that I used in this video, the fear of being arrested by ICE agents or somebody who impersonates ICE agents. But as reasonable adults, you and I understand that this reason will not work with any cruel Texas-style judge. It will work only with somebody who has a heart and sanity to understand that ICE is not helping the situation when people are following legal steps to become US citizens or green card holders. The next obvious question that you might have is, can I list multiple reasons in my motion? And the answer is yes, of course. If you have a broken leg, high fever, you don't have a car, you don't have a driver license, and your bank account has $50 in it, you can mention all these reasons in your motion. You're poor, you're sick, but you are willing to get into the court. So this is a very crucial, important part of any motion. You must write a paragraph stating that you are willing to appear. You want to not miss this hearing, and you ask the judge to allow to do this remotely. The main trick is to attach as much evidence as possible, so it wasn't just your words, oh my goodness, I'm sick, oh my goodness, my car is broken. Because one thing is when you have emotion with your words, and the other thing is when you have emotion with your words and evidence. The second super mega important thing is to never mention in this motion that, you know, judge, I feel it's inconvenient for me to come to this hearing. Or, you know, I don't feel like driving this far, I'm, you know, getting tired really fast. Any trash like this should not be in your motion. The court doesn't care about your comfort or feeling good about this hearing or proceedings. You can be allowed to not appear physically only when you have some legit and strong legal reasons, such as listed before. So please double check that you didn't include a single mood reason for not appearing. All the reasons must be super strong, bulletproof, because you want to stay at home during the hearing. Now that we have covered all the reasons why you cannot appear in this hearing, let me show you how this motion can be written. In the top left corner, write the name and address of your immigration or other court. Below that, write "in the matter of," and then your full name, home address, and your A number, alien number. Next, add the title in bold or capital letters, "Motion to appear at master calendar hearing via video teleconference." Now start with an introduction paragraph. After that, write out all your reasons in detail, like a school essay. If you have more than one reason, it's best to number them and break them in clear paragraphs. For example, first, I have a high fever, constant coughing, nosebleeds, and a positive COVID test. Photo of the test is attached. Second, unknown people slashed all 4 tires of my car last night. I don't have the money to fix them. Third, I have less than $5 in my bank account, so I can't even afford gas, and so on. Below that, make sure to include clear statement promising that you will attend the hearing via Zoom from a quiet location with stable internet and working camera. And then your conclusion. For the reasons stated above, I respectfully ask the court to grant motion on such and such date. At the bottom, write your full name and add your signature. Important, if you're filing in immigration court, you are legally required to serve a copy of your motion to the opposing party, DHS, Department of Homeland Security. So either at the bottom of your motion or on the next page, include the following section: Certificate of Service. This confirms that you sent a copy to the other side. Sign this page as well. That's how the court knows you followed proper procedure. And if you're including any evidence with your motion, like photo of a COVID test, a screenshot of your empty bank account, and so on, you can add a separate page titled Attachments. Then list each item clearly. For example, Attachment 1, screenshot of my bank account showing zero balance. Attachment 2, photo of positive COVID test. Attachment 3, picture of my car with all 4 flat tires. This helps the judge quickly see and understand what you're providing. And of course, don't forget to actually send a copy of your motion. Important, the date you serve the copy to DHS must be the same as the date you filed the motion with the court. That's it, now you can sit at home and relax and wait for paper mail from the court with the decision. Unfortunately, if the court denies your motion, there is no way to appeal it. But there's a life hack. You filed a motion based on some reason. For example, your car was broken and the court denied this motion. But while you were waiting for the court decision, you could have developed some illness. Maybe you have COVID-19 or some other contagious illness. So that's why you can file another motion. This argument shows you why do you need to file such motions long before the hearing. So use your time wisely. The most important thing is that you cannot skip the hearing under no circumstances. Check your health, check how your car is doing, and check how your bank account is doing. If in these 3 areas you have at least one reason that limits your ability to come to the court, inform the court about it in writing. Because there is one bad news for you that you must remember forever. Nobody is going to fight for you harder than you do. There are videos from courthouses that show that whenever ICE agents or whoever impersonates them try to kidnap people, licensed lawyers do not intervene. They do not fight for you, like physically. The worst thing they can do is just ask questions. Oh my goodness, where are you taking my client? But ICE agents don't care. They don't answer questions. They just drag you and deport you. So it means that you cannot count on your lawyer as your bodyguard. They will not fight for you because they can lose their license and freedom. But I truly hope that you will go through all the legal process and finally obtain your green card and then US citizenship. And you will become one of those citizens who work hard and make our country better. America has been through hard times before, and every time we've made it through. And we'll make it this time as well. By the way, if you want to get help with this motion, talking to some living person, you can use the hotline called Agents of Change created by USC students. I'll put the phone number here, and you can call it anytime during the day, because they created this hotline specifically to help immigrants evade physical appearance in courts. They will help you draft your motion and maybe will even give you some decent and useful advice. In the end, let me remind you once again, the Green Card Show is the only YouTube channel created specifically to help immigrants. We make this channel in 3 languages, Russian, English and Spanish. We're posting videos that explain you some things about life in USA, legal things in USA, how to save money, how to live on $0 and such. So if you know anybody who will benefit from information like this, please share the links to this video and help your friend, colleague or family member.